Hello, wonderful beings. Welcome to Wheel of Wisdom, episode number 119. And to introduce myself, my name is Anisha. I am a psychologist, a mindfulness meditation teacher, and an aligned life coach. So basically, I help women live in alignment with what matters most to them. So, yeah, that is a little bit about me. And I would love to know a little bit about you before we dive into this live. Which part of the world are you joining us from? Or are you joining for the very first time? Hello, Rich. Welcome back again. Happy to have you here. It says, Hi, Anisha from cloudy London. Yeah, it is cloudy here as well. It rained like whole night here. Um, yeah, so I hope that you're getting to enjoy that weather, even though like that is like the dominant weather there. But yeah, the weather is changing quite a lot now. So yeah, excited for winter this time. So yeah, it says, yeah, we get used to it here. But yeah, for some reason, I really like the weather of London. Like I haven't been there, but yeah, from what I see, I'm like, yeah, this is something that I like. I don't know what your experience is, but yeah, it seems nice to me. Okay, so for today, I would love to know like, is there anyone who is joining us for the very first time? Because in that case, I'm going to share with you what we do here. Otherwise, we can just dive into the live, right away. So, yeah, if there is anyone for the very first time, you can type in the comments, let me know. And if not, then we can start with the first thing of this live. Okay, seems like everyone here has been here before. So the first thing that we're going to do is, as you might know, is a meditation of around like 10 minutes or so. And today's meditation is going to be based on the quote that you must have seen when you opened Insight Timer app. And if you are on your laptop or something, then I'm going to like state that quote for you. So you know what we're going to dive into, what we are going to meditate on today. So the wisdom quote for today is by Maya Angelou. She says, if I'm not good to myself, how can I expect anyone else to be good to me? If I am not good to myself, how can I expect anyone else to be good to me? So, this quote is basically asking us to turn inward, when we are trying to seek love, validation, approval outside of us. So, before we go on to seek all of those things outside, to look within and ask ourselves that, am I giving myself these things first? So, have I provided myself all of those things that I am trying to seek outside? So, this is our quote for today. And let's begin by coming into a comfortable position. You can choose to sit, stand, or lie down. Whatever your body needs in this moment. If you feel safe, allow your eyes to close, or alternatively, you can choose to lower your gaze so you can look downward at the floor, as this helps us limit any visual distractions. And now allow yourself to take a deep, nourishing breath in through your nose and a long, slow exhale through your mouth. And now allow yourself to breathe naturally. Feel your body beginning to soften as if you are setting down a weight you have been carrying for too long. So let go of all of that weight and feel supported by the surface beneath you. With each breath coming home to yourself, finding yourself relaxing more and more with each exhale. You have given so much of your energy and time to others. And now this is your moment to give back to yourself, to remember that you too are worthy of the love that you so freely give to others. On your next exhale, imagine releasing every expectation, every should, every demand, and allow yourself to simply arrive in this moment where nothing is required of you. All you are invited to do in this space is to be. In a moment from now, I am going to repeat certain affirmations that are going to help you feel better and better in every way. So, allow yourself to let these words sink deep into your subconscious mind. As I say each statement, you can either whisper them in your mind or Simply listen and receive them. So let's begin. I am worthy of love, support, and understanding. I am worthy of love, support, and understanding. My needs and well being matters just as much as anyone else's. My needs and well being matters just as anyone else's. I honor my needs and give myself the kindness that I deserve. I honor my needs and give myself the kindness that I deserve. Caring for myself allows me to show up with more love and energy for others. Caring for myself allows me to show up with love and energy for others. I radiate love and respect from within and attracts the same from others. I radiate love and respect from within and attracts the same from others. I allow myself to receive love and care freely and fully. I allow myself to receive love and care freely and fully. I honor my energy and invest in what matters most to me. I honor my energy and invest in what matters most to me. I prioritize my peace and let it guide my choices. prioritize my peace and let it guide my choices. I set healthy boundaries that honor my inner peace. I allow myself to set healthy boundaries that honor my inner peace. My value comes from who I am, not from what I give away. My value comes from who I am and not what I give away. I choose to be gentle with myself as I grow and evolve every day. I choose to be gentle with myself as I evolve and grow every day. Taking a deep inhale in through your nose and a long exhale out. Feeling your heart expand as though every word you have spoken or let in has become a warm glow within you. And as you are going to return back to your day, let this feeling stay with you. A gentle reminder that the way you treat yourself teaches the world how to treat you. And you choose to treat yourself with gentleness, love, and compassion. You did great. And now allow yourself to come back, coming back to your body by wiggling your toes and your fingers, waking your body up, moving your body in whatever way it wants to be moved. And finally, at your own pace, Allow your eyes to gently open, connecting back with the world around you. Welcome back. If any one of you feel called to share your experience of the meditation or share your favorite affirmation from it, you're welcome to do so in the comments. And if not, then that's okay. I understand that not everyone feels like typing, so you can always press the heart somewhere here to let me know that the practice, resonated with you. And before I go to the comments, I see that some new people have joined us while we were meditating. So I want to say welcome to you all. Welcome to Wheel of Wisdom, episode number 119. And I want to let you know that in case you missed the meditation or you joined late, then I will share towards the end of the slide where you can access the meditation. Okay. But for now, I am going to go through the comments and then we are going to dive into some wisdom, receive the message that we most need to hear right now, given whatever is going on in our life, and to do that in a very fun way. So, yeah, soon we are going to move to that. But yeah, let me go through the comments first. So let's see. Patriot Lady says, wish I got on earlier. Your voice is soothing. I will be back. Thank you. Oh, I am so happy to hear that, my voice was able to, help you go into a deeper meditative state. And yeah, you can always catch on to this meditation or my other meditations. And, hmm, you know, or maybe we can always, you can always join again. As you said, you will be back. Okay. So, Victoria says, that was lovely. Wish I could be writing those affirmations down while hearing them. Want to make this happen more often. Oh, Victoria, know that if it made you feel that good, know that your mind always likes more pleasure, more good feelings. So know that these affirmations, even though you don't remember all of them, but maybe decide to choose one that you remember or that resonated most with you and carry it with you for the rest of your day so that that essence goes with you as you move through your day. And as I said, you can always access this meditation, so you can do that later on, Victoria. I will mention towards the end of the slide where you can find everything. Okay. Elle says that I am loved for what I am, not what I do. And that is so important because we have learned in the society that, our value, our worth is determined, based on what we can give, what we can do, how much we can, you know, um, give in a way or, accomplish. And all of those different standards have been set. And we forget that just us existing is enough. And that makes us inherently worthy of happiness, of success, of peace, of whatever it is that you want. So thank you, Elle, for sharing that. And and know that, by typing it down, you have let this wisdom sink in deeper because these are three ways in which we create our own reality, the way we think, the way we speak, and the way we act. So, congratulations on taking that first step. Okay. So, my dear ones, now let's move on to the wisdom part. So, this was also the wisdom part. This was the wisdom that was right in front of us as we opened this app, but we took that time to really let it sink in. And now we are going to move on to the Wheel of Wisdom. That's why the name Wheel of Wisdom. Let me show you guys the wheel. Okay. So here is the Wheel of Wisdom, and this wheel contains the name of 31 books that have been chosen. These are like some of the most transformational books that I have came across in my own journey of personal growth, in my own journey of healing. And now what we do is that now that we are more centered, more open, and our vibrations has been raised after the meditation, we are ready to receive that higher wisdom. We are more open to really hear, really listen what the universe, God, source, divine, angels, spirit guides, whatever it is that you believe in, wants us to know. So, for that, we are going to spin this wheel, and this wheel is going to randomly select a book for us. But before we do that, I actually invite you guys to decide the direction, so that every single one of you receives what you need to most hear right now. So, for that, I invite you guys to take a moment and, bring to your mind what is it that you would like to receive some guidance on today. So, if there is anything specific going on in your life, bring that to your mind. It can be a specific issue, a specific area of your life. Or if nothing specific is coming to your mind, simply, set an intention to be open to the guidance that wants to come through. And when you guys have thought of something, you can let me know in the comments. You can let me know the exact thing, or you can let me know that you are ready by typing ready so that we can go ahead and, spin the wheel and receive a message for today. Okay, wonderful. Anita would like some guidance related to calm, and Elle is ready. Mary Lou is ready. Okay, wonderful, you guys. Thank you for letting me know. Char is ready. Okay. So, whatever it is that you thought of, hold that in your mind, hold that in your awareness as we are going to spin this wheel. Okay. Victoria sees abundance for relationships and finance. I hope that something regarding that comes through for you. Okay. So, hold that in your mind as we spin the wheel. So, the book that came for all of us today is You Can Heal Your Life, and the book has been written by Louis Hay. Okay, so let's see what this beautiful book wants to, convey to us. Give me a second to open the book. Now, usually we play a game, okay, where I ask you guys to choose a number. But for this book, I actually do not have the original book with me. Because as I said, I have came across these books over, years. And I didn't thought I would be doing this. So I do not have the original book, but I have the notes that I made from this book. So basically, I, made notes of the powerful insights or the transformative exercises from these books. So, what I'm going to do is so these are my notes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to scroll through the pages until I feel like stopping at a section, which feels like this is something that everyone present here or everyone who will listen to the recording needs to hear at this moment in their life. So, let's do that and see what wants to come through for this book, from this book. So, again, continue to, hold whatever it is that you need guidance on in your mind as I scroll through the pages of this book. Okay, let's see. Mm. So, give me a second to find the start of this. Okay. So, it seems like, the paragraph that came up contains different ways in which we try to resist something, whether it is something hard that you want to do and you are resisting it. So, the first thing that the author mentions here is denial. This form of resistance shows up in denial of the need to do any changing. Things like, there is nothing wrong with me. I can't do anything about this problem. I was all right last time. What good would it do to change? If I ignore it, maybe the problem will go away. So, you know, so this is the first form of resistance in which we even do not allow ourselves to admit or see the problem that this is a problematic area for me, or this is a problematic behavior, or this is a problematic pattern for me. So, for example, since Violet mentions like finance, so, if you are looking at the financial area, you do not even allow yourself to um, take record of your spendings, of your, savings, of your like where the money is going and where is it's coming from. You do not even allow yourself to take that first look. Or even if you do, then you're like, I cannot do anything about it. This is not in my hands. Or, you just try to, or maybe you don't even try to think about the problem. You think that, it will go away, or you try to distract yourself. So, yeah, you are not even aware of it. So, if that is the resistance that you're going through, then, it might be hard, but you need to sit down. And, what is coming up for me is to sit down, write your problem at the top, and then write all the thoughts that you have regarding that. And then, ask yourself that what am I overlooking here? What am I trying to suppress here? What do what is it that I do not want myself to recognize, to be aware of? And when you allow yourself to notice the problem, first you need to know there is a problem, and then you will start to work upon it to change it, right? So, if in a particular area of your life you resonate with this denial thing, then that is what is coming up for me. Um, and the author also mentions the second thing, the second form of resistance, which is fear. So, by far, the biggest category of resistance is fear of the unknown. Listen to these. So, Be on the lookout for this kind of a thinking pattern. And if you have these kind of thoughts, then it means that you are resisting the situation in some way. So listen to these in your mind. I am not ready yet. I might fail. They might reject me. What would the neighbors think? I'm afraid to tell this person. I might get hurt. I may have to change. It might cost me money. I would rather die first or get a divorce first. I don't want anyone to know I have a problem. I am afraid to express my feelings. I don't want to talk about it. I don't have the energy. Who knows where I might end up? I may lose my freedom. It's too hard to do. I don't have enough money or time. I might hurt my back. I wouldn't be perfect. I might lose my friends. I don't trust anyone. It might hurt my image. I am not good enough. So, what is coming up from this reading is to basically be aware, because awareness is always the first step, and the second step is acceptance. So, first become aware of your patterns as to what is it exactly that you say to yourself when you think about this problem. So, again, going back to what came up for me is to write your problem at the top of a page and then write everything that your mind tells you about that thing, and see, how might how might you be in denial, how might the fear is have getting the best of you in the situation, and think, what would I do if I was not afraid? Yeah, that's all that came up for me. So I'm not sure if it resonated with you or not. If it did, please feel free to share that in the comments. Or if anything else is coming up for you based on this reading, feel free to share that. And give yourself permission to actually see the problem, to become aware of your patterns, and to accept them that yes, they are here instead of resisting them. Because they are here, they are not resisting it, won't go do any good to you. And before we move on to the next reading or something, I do have like two resources that are coming to my mind that might help you, with this thing that we just covered. So, the first resource that is coming up for me is this. So, if you are actually resisting your situation, especially if you are in denial, if you do not want to accept it, then you can try this particular course that I have that will help you, you know, acknowledge what is happening and then help you, process it and move forward from it. So, if you feel called to, you can try this, you can save this. And the other resource that came up for me was the last thing that I read, in terms of fear, the last thought, the last thinking pattern, which says, I'm not good enough. So if that is something that, is stopping you, then I have this small track that might be able to help you shift your perspective regarding that a little bit or help you, not let this thought stop you. So if you believe that you're not good enough, you can save this particular track and listen to it. It is a very small track. So yeah, that is, that is all that I had to share regarding this reading. If anyone else want to share anything, feel free to do so. And if not, we will move on to the next reading, you know. And maybe if you didn't got the answer that you were looking for, maybe the next reading will, shed some light upon that. Okay, so again, I invite you guys to take a moment and, hold whatever it is that you need guidance on in your mind as we spin the wheel. Okay, before I spin it, can anyone confirm? Can you guys see and hear me fine? Because I haven't, had any comment or heart from for a while, so I'm just wondering if my net gave up. So, like, am I visible and audible to you? Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for the confirmation. Thank you, Elle and Victoria. Thank you, guys. Okay. Yeah, so holding again whatever it is that you need guidance on in your mind as we are going to spin the wheel. Trish says, I haven't been open to an intimate relationship in more than 7 years. You know, thank you for sharing that, Trish, with all of us. I'm glad that, you feel safe in the space to be able to share what is going on for you. And I hope that you receive whatever it is that you need to hear regarding that from our next reading. And I hope that, what came up for me as you mentioned that comment was that maybe I'm not very aware of why, but yeah, maybe what came up for me was that, a part of you might be trying to protect you. And my hope is that, in doing so, you do not cut off, you do not allow yourself to let go of any opportunity of some real, deep, intimate connection that comes, that life gives you the opportunity for. So I hope that, both things happen for you, that you feel safe and protected. At the same time, you get to connect with, get to have that connection that you need in your life. Okay. So let's see what wants to come through for all of us here. Oh, okay. So, the book that came for all of us here is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and the book has been written by Joseph Murphy. Okay, let's see what this book has to share with all of us. It's interesting that today the books that are coming up are the ones that I do not have the original books for, and I have just the notes from. So, okay, so I want to ask you guys, I want to give you an option because we usually play a game where I ask you guys to choose a number and we, tap into that collective wisdom from the hat. So I want to give you an option that do you want to continue with this book that came up, which is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, where we won't get to play that game, but what I will do is I will close my eyes and scroll through these notes and stop at a section that I feel called to. Okay. Or do you want me to spin the wheel again and choose a different book? So the choice is yours. You guys can vote and see, if this book is resonating or, yeah, just choose. So same book or spin the wheel again. Okay, Libby says continue with this book. Victoria says this book. Okay, so let's see what wants to come through this book. Again, holding whatever it is that you need guidance on in your mind. Okay, let's see what came up. So the author says in the mind principle, there is no time or space. It is the same mind that operates through your mother, no matter where she may be. In reality, there is no absent treatment as opposed to present treatment, for the universal mind is omnipresent. I think this is related to some other paragraph. Okay, let me read the paragraph below it. Yeah. So the author says the kinetic action of your subconscious mind continues throughout your sleep time period. Hence, give the subconscious mind something good to work on as you drop off into slumber. I strongly suggest that you cease talking about your ailments or giving them a name. The only sap from which they draw life is your attention and fear of them. If you are constantly naming your aches and symptoms, you inhibit the kinetic action, which means the releasing the release of the healing power and energy of your subconscious mind. Furthermore, by the law of your mind, these imaginings tend to take shape as the thing I greatly feared. Apply the power of prayer into your life. Choose a certain plan, idea, or mental picture. Mentally and emotionally unite with that idea. And as you remain faithful to your mental attitude, your prayers will be answered. Always remember, if you want the power to heal, you can have it through faith, which means knowledge of the working of your conscious and subconscious mind. Faith comes with understanding. Blind faith means that a person may get results in healing without any scientific understanding of the powers and forces involved. Learn to pray for your loved ones who may be ill. Quiet your mind and your thoughts of health, vitality, and perfection, operating through the one universal subjective mind that will be felt and resurrected in the mind of your loved ones. So basically, what I'm getting are two things. First is that as you're going to sleep, instead of thinking of all the things that are going wrong and all the, things that you have problems with, all your issues and everything, what is not working for you and all of that, instead, allow yourself to think about your goals, your plans, your desires, create that mental picture. Because most of the times, if you notice, whatever problems that you thought about when I asked you to, bring that specific thing to your mind, you might have gone to certain problems. So you might have noticed that the most part of your day, or even as you're going to sleep, you spend in thinking about what is going wrong, what if this goes wrong, what has caused wrong, gone wrong, sorry, what has gone wrong in the past, and all the problems and all the issues and all of that, So you are pouring your energy, your time, and all of this mental space. You're filling it with all the problems and all the issues. And And that is where your energy goes. And you might have heard that where your energy, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So that is where your attention is going, and that is where your energy is flowing. And that is why you're attracting that kind of things in your life. So instead, what the author invites us is to tap into the power of your subconscious mind by, imagining the solutions, imagining the desires coming to life, imagining whatever it is that you want becoming your reality as you go to sleep. It will make you feel good, it will help you fall asleep, you know, because when you are thinking about your problems, you might have noticed that your mind tries to find solutions and it goes into this active state, which is not the state that you want to be in when you are trying to relax and fall into sleep, when you are trying to, bring that alpha wave state into your mind. So instead, what the author invites us is to do is to imagine whatever it is that you want, bring that to your mind and infuse it with your emotions, because as the line says that mentally and emotionally unite with that idea, with that mental picture, with that plan, that you have. So pour in your emotions rather than just, for example, when you repeat affirmations, if you do them just to repeat them without actually feeling them, there is nothing going on here. There is no energy getting involved in that. So you are just saying them out loud and repeating them like a robot, and there is nothing that it is triggering within you. And hence, it is not, impacting your energetic state in any way. So it is not going to have any impact in your life as well. Instead, allow that mental image to come up and, bring emotions to that part as you're going to sleep. Notice how it would feel like to have this desire fulfilled, how it would feel like to have that calm, have a calming life, how it would feel like to have that financial or relationship abundance, and all of those other things, how it would feel like to have intimate relationships in your life. And once you fuse with it, once you try to imagine it and let yourself go into that in there are multiple ways to do that, but yeah, as you go into that, then you leave it to your subconscious mind to bring that into your reality, either by influencing your what you do, how you speak, and what you think about, and all of those. So there are different ways in which it can influence you. If we talk about more realistic or more logical ways in which how it would become your reality, is when you feed your mind these things, your mind is going to, because your subconscious mind determines how you think about a situation. So if you are feeding your subconscious mind all of those things that are going to work out for you, it is going to have that similar thoughts. It is going to start inserting those thoughts into your mind when they become conscious. The thoughts that you know of when they are conscious, when you are aware of your thoughts. So that is the first thing. And the second thing that came up was to, if your loved ones is going through something, wish them whatever it is that you think they need at this moment, because that is again going to make you feel good. That is again because sometimes um we are in certain situations that are out of our hands and we feel helpless. So blessings or wishes are a way to help us get out of that state of helplessness and let out a blessing and let out a wish into the world and see it impact, or at least it is, at the very least, it is going to impact you. It is going to make you feel good. It is going to bring that energy of warmth in your heart. So, yeah, these are the two things that came up from this reading. And let me know if it resonates with any one of you, whatever it is that you need guidance on, or if anything else is coming up for you from this reading that we just did. Okay, so maybe we will do one more reading, and I hope that, you know, if you haven't received that message yet, or if you don't feel like you got what you needed, then that is the reading that delivers you that. So I think that is going to be our last reading for today. Okay, so again, holding whatever it is that you need guidance on in your mind as we spin this wheel. Okay, the very same book came up again. The power of your subconscious mind, and I don't know, usually the books I think disappears if they come up once. I'm not sure why it came up again. So help me out. Should we continue with this book or should we spin again? What do you guys think? Okay, Victoria says, let's spin again. Okay, Felicity also says again. Thank you guys for your votes and deciding the direction of this live. Okay, today is a pretty quiet day. Ah, okay, let's see. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me shuffle it a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm just shuffling the name of the books in the wheel so that we get something. Hmm. Okay. So let's see what wants to come through. Okay. So the book that came up for us is Taking the Leap. Taking the Leap. Ah, okay. So it seems like, the readings were kind of connected. The starting reading was to become aware of your problem and, to acknowledge it, to stop resisting it, to let go of the fear. And, you know, now the second was that imagine the solution, imagine your desires, as you go to sleep. And now the third reading is taking the leap. Actually, I think bring that to action into your life. So, yeah, the book has been written by Pema Chodron. So let's see what this book wants to offer us. And this time, I think we are going to play the game. So, give me a second to choose some numbers for the game. Okay. Yeah. So, in a moment from now, I am going to ask you guys to choose a number between certain numbers, okay? And I do not want you guys to rush at all. Instead, take your time to tune into your, intuition and see which number is coming up for you and share that in the comments. And then I will go through your numbers and choose a number randomly out of those, okay? So the number that I feel called to. In this way, we will get to tap into that collective wisdom so that everyone receives that message that, we know we most need to hear right now. So, yeah, go ahead and choose a number that you're feeling called to. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, LJ. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Felicity, Nancy, Jamie. Anyone else who would like to share a number before we move ahead? Thank you, Melissa. Okay. Thank you, Ishwa. Okay, let's see now. Which number do I feel called to amongst these? Thank you, Joannie. Okay, so the number that I'm feeling most called to is 44, and the number has been chosen by Nancy for all of us. Thank you, Nancy. Okay, guys, so let's see what is on page number 44. Hmm. Okay, so the heading for this is the natural movement of life. So the author says, we are not a fixed, predictable, static identity that anyone can point to and say, you are always like this, you are always the same. Life's energy is never static, it is as shifting, fluid, changing as the weather. Sometimes we like how we're feeling, sometimes we don't. Then we like it again, then we don't. Happy and sad, comfortable and uncomfortable, alternates continually. This is how it is for everyone. So, yeah, I guess this message is for anyone who is feeling like, that maybe I'm not capable of change, or this is how I am, or yeah, nothing is going to change for me. So remember that life flows. It is not constant, and it is not going to be the same as it is right now. And you are not going to be the same. You are also different at different moments. So you are not the very same person that you were years ago. There has been some change. You are not even the same person. You know, y- that state is not the same as you had yesterday. So yesterday you might be feeling different than today. So remember that you know if you feel that I cannot change, this is how I am, this is how it's going to be. So the author says how we relate to this dynamic flow of energy is important. We can learn to relax with it, recognizing it as our basic ground, as a natural part of life, or the feeling of uncertainty, of nothing to hold on to because everything is changing, right? And can cause us to panic. So, when we think about uncertainty, when we think about there is nothing constant, that we might start to panic. We panic, we get hooked, and then our habits take over, and we think and speak and act in a very predictable way. Our energy and the energy of universe are always in flux, but we have little tolerance for this unpredictability, and we have little ability to see ourselves and the world as an exciting, fluid situation that is always fresh and new. Instead, we get stuck in a rut, the rut of I want and I don't want, the rut of continually getting hooked by our personal preferences. The source of our unease is the unfulfillable longing for lasting certainty and security, for something solid to hold on to. Unconsciously, we expect that if we could just get the right job, the right partner, the right something, our lives would run smoothly. When anything unexpected or not to our liking happens, we think something has gone wrong. I believe this is not an exaggeration of where we find ourselves. Even at the most mundane level, we get so easily triggered. Someone cuts in front of us, we get seasonal allergies, our favorite restaurant is closed when we arrive for dinner. We are never encouraged to experience the ebb and flow of our moods, of our health, of the weather, of outer events, pleasant and unpleasant, in their fullness. Instead, we stay caught in a fearful, narrow holding pattern of avoiding any pain, and continually seeking comfort. This is the universal dilemma. When we pause and allow a gap and breathe deeply, we can experience instant refreshment. Suddenly, we slow down, look out, and there is the world. It can feel like briefly standing in the eye of the tornado or the still point of the turning wheel. Our mood may be agitated or cheerful. What we see and hear may be chaos, or it may be the ocean, the mountains, or the birds flying across a clear blue sky. Either way, momentarily, our mind is still and we are not pulled in or pushed away by what we are experiencing. So, the reminder that came up for me was that to recognize the ebb and flow of life and the ever changing nature of who I am. And when I start to get uncomfortable by this uncertainty, then the last paragraph help us to get centered where we feel like we are in the eye of that tornado, by simply pausing and meeting the life as it is and meeting ourselves as we are and just taking a deep breath in of refreshment and noticing that this is what is happening in my life right now and this is what is happening within me right now and accepting it and then noticing all the beautiful things that are not constant as well, that are ever changing, all the things that we are surrounded with, all the things within us that are changing. And also, what comes up for me is that hope that, that if things are hard for me right now, or if there is something that I don't like, is present within me, then it is also going to change. And going back to, becoming still and pausing, it also, what the author mentions towards the end is that we are not getting pushed or pulled in certain direction, meaning that we are not pushing away that pain or trying to pull or hold on to that pleasure that we want in our life. Because in that moment, when we have paused and when we are meeting life as it is and ourselves as it is, we are welcoming it all, the pleasant and the unpleasant, and we are not trying to, get rid of the unpleasant or just grab more of the pleasant, but simply being present and meeting whatever is present at this moment. A lot of time I use the word present, but it is the real present to know, to meet, to feel alive in this moment and meet what and feel and experience what it feels like to be alive in this very moment, what is alive within me and what is alive around me, what is alive outside of me. And before I go to the comments, where you are welcome to share if it is resonating with you, or if it is something that you needed to hear today, or something else is coming up for you, or this reading gave you some other reminder that you want to carry. Feel free to share that in the comments. And if you would like to learn or to actually experience what it feels like to meet life as it is, to meet the familiar which you thought is the same, which you thought as static or constant, and experience the impermanence, the ever-changing ebb and flow in it, then I have this resource for you which you can save if you want to actually feel alive in your day-to-day life, and access whatever it is that you are seeking right now. And thank you for all the hearts. I am glad that this reading, really delivered whatever it is that you were looking for. And hi, Christina, welcome. Yeah, since we are like towards the end, I said this is going to be the last reading for today. But yeah, since you joined late, okay, let me do one more reading. We can do one more reading. We still have some time. So yeah, let's do one last reading. That is going to be the last reading and then wrap this live. Okay. And if you guys have enjoyed this live so far, and if you would like to support me to continue this space, or if you would like to contribute towards helping me create more resources for the person, for everyone to have the access to whatever it is that they need, then you can do so by making a donation. Okay. Um, oh, Christina says so nice. Thank you. You're welcome, Christina. Okay. So let's see what wants to come through for our last reading for today. So, whatever it is, whatever it is that you need guidance on, hold that at the forefront of your mind. Bring that to your mind. Thank you, dear Amelia, for this kind, beautiful gesture, for spreading this love, and, for supporting me, for supporting me with such, I'm out of words, but yeah, I am. I'm just imagining like a cloud above you and it is showering you with, oh my God, all this love. And like the sparkles of healing are coming out of that cloud. And I hope that, since it is kind of a rainy season here, so I'm assuming if it rains for you today, then you can feel that shower of love and healing. Okay, LJ says, peace be unto all. Thank you, Anisha. You're welcome, LJ. You know, thank you for that beautiful wish of peace. Okay, so going to the last reading for today. Hmm. I invite you guys to hold that in your mind, whatever it is that you need guidance on as we spin the wheel. Okay, so this is the first time that this book came up, and the name of this book is Being Genuine. Stop being nice, start being real, by Thomas D. Ensembrog. I'm not sure if I pronounced that name right, but yeah. The name of the book is Being Genuine. So let's see what this amazing book have to offer us. Give me a second to open the book. Morning, Cassandra. Happy to have you here. Thank you for spending your morning with me. Okay, give me a second. to choose some numbers for today. Hmm. Okay. So, in a moment from now, I am going to ask you guys to choose a number between certain numbers, and I want you guys to remember to not rush and instead see which number are you feeling called to and share that in the comments. And then I will go through the numbers and choose a number randomly out of them. So, yeah, I invite you guys to choose a number between 22 to 245. Thank you, Christina, Cassandra, V, Frank, Helena. Helena, I would, invite you to choose a number between 22 and 245. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure on 18 page number there might be something like introduction or something. Okay. Thank you, Lindsay. Hmm. Thank you, Deb. Helena, thank you. Okay, anyone else who would like to share a number before we continue? Thank you, Felicity, Daphne. Hmm. Emilia says, welcome back, Frank. We missed you. Anisha, did you tell him we missed him? No, sorry, I didn't. I thought of it. I was like, yeah, it's nice to see Frank, but yeah, I didn't spoke it out loud. So yeah, welcome back, Frank. Oh, I love it how you guys have gotten to know each other, and yeah, such I love the connection here. And it's so lovely to have you here, Frank. Okay, so so now I think we have everyone who wanted to share a number has, and if not, you guys can mention the number, and I will go through these and see which number am I feeling called to. Okay, so the number that I am feeling called to is 25, and the number has been chosen by Cassandra for all of us. Thank you, dear. Okay, before that, let me fill my cup because it is empty. Okay, people are celebrating Cassandra's choice. Okay, I'm happy for you in that case. That you finally get to win something. Okay, so I'm just trying to find the starting of this paragraph. Okay, yeah, here it is. So the author says feelings act like a blinking light on a dashboard or control panel. They inform us about a need. Nancy is asking, I missed what book this is. Nancy, the book is Being Genuine by Thomas. So, again, the author says, feelings act like a blinking light on a dashboard or control panel. They inform us about a need. A pleasant feeling shows that a need is being met, and an unpleasant feeling indicates an unmet need. It is therefore invaluable to be aware of this key distinction in order to identify what one needs. For rather than complaining about what I do not want and often asking someone incompetent to help, I will be able to clarify what I want, my need rather than my lack, and to inform a competent person in order to get help. This person most often being yours truly. Okay, so there are some examples. So here's an example I give at conferences. I'm driving my car along a country road, and I may find myself in one of the following three situations. I am driving an old car with no control panel, like Model T Ford of the early 1900s. I'm driving along confidently, using up all the reserve gasoline, and have no concern for my need for gas, since there is nothing to alert my awareness. Sooner or later, I run out of gas in the middle of the countryside. No signal, no awareness of the need, no power to act. Now comes the second scenario, a more conventional scenario. I am driving a modern day car that has fully equipped dashboard. At some stage, my gas gauge shows me that I am on reserve, so I complain. Who forgets to put gas in this car? It's simply unbelievable. It always happens to me. Isn't there someone besides me in this family who can think about filling up? I complain and complain, so much so that I'm totally absorbed by my complaining and fail to see all the gas stations I drive past. Sooner or later, I run out of gas in the middle of the countryside. There had been a signal. I became aware of the need, but I overtook no actions to remedy the situation. I devoted all my energy to complaining and seeking a guilty party and someone on whom to vent my frustration. Now there is this third scenario, which is like the preferable scenario. I am still driving a modern day car that has a fully functioning dashboard or control panel. The gas gauge shows that I am on reserve. I identify my need. Aha, I'm going to need fuel, but I don't see a gas station right now. What am I to do? I then take concrete and positive action. I will be alert to the next gas station I come across. I will go there and take care of my need. I provide the rescue service myself, being aware of the need that I voiced. I awaken myself to the possibility of coming up with the solution. The solution does not occur immediately, but as I have become aware of the need, there is much greater chance I will come up with a solution. Then, if as in the first scenario, when I had no awareness, that my gas tank is running empty. So, if I sorted things out by filling up, that this doesn't mean I am going to forego my need for consideration or respect. Back home, I may say to my teenage child or spouse, I am disappointed at having had to fill up after you use the car. So you conveyed the feeling, I have a need for consideration of my time and respect for having loaned you my car. So here you mentioned your need. In the future, would you agree to fill up the tank yourself? And then you told them what exactly to do, so they are clear of what you want, what you want from them. So, hmm, so what is coming up for me are like the three scenarios that the author mentions. The first scenario is that the author is not even aware of that gas light, that gas tank running empty. Basically, the author is not aware of what it needs right now, what he needs right now, So there is complete lack of awareness, and hence, the author gets stuck in a situation where he's not going to fulfill his need, and he is like, it is going to be a worse situation for the author. It is not going to be a good situation. And that happens, when we are going through our life and when we never reflect back as to what do I need at this moment right now. Because usually we don't ask ourselves that question, right? We just continue going and doing our thing and, thinking that things would turn out differently, but they don't. And we end up even more irritated because our need is not getting met because either we didn't took the right step of asking someone else for help or taking that action ourselves if it was in our control. The second scenario was, and I will go back to all the comments just a second. I do not want to break the flow. So the second scenario was the author was aware of it. There was this, as Frank says, that check engine light. There was this indication of a need, because so there was this indication of the need, and the indication is your feelings. So if you're not feeling pleasant, there is that is a signal. That unpleasant feeling is a signal that something within you, needs something. Okay, and that is why I say that the emotions, I do not say like, these are negative feelings because those emotions are not negative. They might feel unpleasant, but they are not negative. They have a use and they are the indicators. They are that check engine light that ask you, that pulls your attention and ask it to bring inside and see what it is that you need right now. So once you have that, in the second scenario, the author had that, but what happened was the author noticed the unpleasant feeling, or like you notice the unpleasant feeling, you become aware of that need, that this is what I need, but what you ended up doing is to complain, is to go to what I don't have and go to that thought process instead of going to a more solution oriented thought process, something that would help you move forward. So that is the second scenario. And again, the author, because the author was so focused on the problems, on who to blame, who is to blame, who is the guilty party, why this is happening. Sometimes when bad things are happening, we get too much occupied with this, that why is this happening to me? Why is this always happening? And we get so involved in that we pour our energy into that, we pour our attention to that, and we forget, we don't have that energy free, we don't have that time, we don't have that attention to look for the solution, to notice the solutions. As the author says, that he walked past all the gas stations because he was so indulged in complaining and blaming and finding who is at fault and why is this happening. So that was the second scenario, as we say, is blame game. And then the third scenario that the author asks us to implement in our life is first, we are aware of our need because of our feelings. So we start to feel unpleasant. Okay. As you're going through life, when you start to feel unpleasant, the step is to ask yourself the question, what do I need right now? What do I need in this moment? What need of mine is not getting met? Once you identify the need, then instead of going into the stories that your mind is telling you, instead of asking yourself why, instead of blaming anyone, instead of putting that guilt, playing that blame game, instead of doing that, the next thing that the author does here, which was useful, was to, dedicate the energy into what can I do about it? How can I meet this need of mine? You know, and if I cannot meet it, can I ask someone else to meet this need of mine? Is there any way to do that? And in that moment, your attention is now focused on the solution. Your attention is now focused on getting that part of you, whatever it is that it needs. And once that happens, you know, the feeling goes away because there is no need anymore. And you are, back to feeling okay, back to feeling even relaxed, back to feeling even calm, whatever it is that you want to feel. So, yeah, so this is the process that the author reminds us. And in terms of helping, also asking for help or communicating the issues that someone else's behavior have caused you, the author used specific way. Instead of lashing out on them, you mention to them that this is what I felt when you did this, and might this particular need was not met by you. Just in this case, the author says that your need for my need for consideration, or my need for respect for what I lend you is not met, so you convey that, and then you request them, you make a clear request. Instead of just expressing and letting out all the emotions, you make a clear request of what is it that I need for you to do. Because sometimes when we are complaining, the other person don't really understand what is it that you want from me now. So it will ensure that your need get met the next time. So this is the whole process that, the author wants to beautifully present through that example or metaphor of the car and the gas. Okay. Lily's asking, what is the book? Lily, the name of the book is Being Genuine by Thomas. And yeah, and I will like mention the name and this whole reading in my group, which I will just mention in a few moments. And if you guys would like, you know, to be guided through this process, then I actually created a track I guess a year ago, which was around that, which was around this habit that I also had, that also am a prey of, that, you know, whenever I am feeling uncomfortable, we start to distract ourselves, and we might go to social media for that, or we might go to our TV for that, or we might go to something else like, substances or like food, all of those different things. So this would really help you in that moment to break that pattern by, so instead of distracting yourselves when you start, the moment you start to feel unpleasant, you bring your attention to what is happening inside of you and these needs and, all of the process that we covered in this reading. So, yeah, if you like this or if it resonated with you, I would invite you to try this, I guess a guided practice or talk. So, you know, you don't have to do it alone, because when you are feeling unpleasant, there is like this pull that wants to, you know, that wants you to go to those old habits and patterns. Okay. So now let me go through all the beautiful comments that poured in. Yeah, Emilia says, I'm not sure if you were aware prior to the reading, you said, prior to the reading, you said, I'm going to fill my cup because it is empty, which perfectly sums up the reading. Exactly, you know. Yeah, I was not aware of the connection, but yeah, thank you so much for highlighting that. And, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Become aware of it need and take a step to fulfill it. Okay. Thank you, Amelia. Christina says, sometimes speaking up is not easy for fear to confrontation. Exactly. I understand, Christina, that sometimes when you know that this person might not that this is not of that kind of a relationship where you can express yourself clearly, it might be hard for you to do that. And I would invite you to not actually start doing it with the hardest relationship. Maybe just start with this instead of going to that communication thing. Even just for start to honor your needs. I just remembered that the meditation that we did today was also around that, that today's quote around, how we treat ourselves, show others how we want to be treated. So first, we need to learn to meet our own needs. We need to learn to, honor our own needs. And once we do that, then eventually, step by step, we would be able to also, communicate that to others in a way that they would be more receptive to. And because um when you mentioned confrontation, when you imagine that the other person might get defensive or even lash out back to you, it happens when we are going to have that conversation with from a place of blame, when we are judging that person in our mind. But instead, in this way the author that mentioned in the way that the author mentions was to communicate what you are feeling, what you are needing, and what you would request them to do, rather than assigning any blame or assigning any labels like, you are so lazy, you are so inconsiderate, you forgot to fill my car up again, so instead of going with that kind of energy, we are going with, an invitation for them to make an impact in our life, to give us a gift of making our life better in some way. And we negotiate with them. If we ask something of them and that is not they can what they can deliver, then we try to understand what need of theirs is not getting met, and we go on that direction so that we create a win-win situation for everyone. So yeah, I hope that that answers it. Cassandra says, usually don't ask till it's too late. Exactly, we wait and wait, we ignore and ignore, and then it's sometimes too late. Or, yeah, sometimes we end up regretting it. Okay, let's see. Frank says, anyone else here ever ignored the check engine light on the car? Yeah, you know, this reminds me of this, um, in Big Bang Theory, in that series, how Sheldon gets in the car of Penny and he's like, your check engine light is on, and Penny says, yeah, it is always on. And he goes like, but it is on, you need to look after it. That is the signal that you need to look after your car. You need to look, you need to check that. So yeah, you know maybe reflect if your check engine light has been on for a while and you haven't met your needs, whatever it is that you need, in your life at this phase or at this moment. Thank you, Frank, for bringing that. Christina says, yes, Frank, I think it might be sometimes wrong with the, it might be something wrong with the bulb. Yeah, right, with the bulb, but not with your car, not with ourselves, right? Okay, Christina says, I like that. What do I need right now? In fact, I have this very post-it. I don't have it in this room, but I have in the room that I usually am. I have this post-it where I have written, what do I need right now? And, that reminds me to ask myself this question because we don't remember to focus on ourselves, when all of these different things are happening in our life. So yeah, that is my way to remember. B says, yeah, second situation is blame game, which is not going to benefit any of us, right? Which is not going to help us move forward. Cassandra says, what is this trying to teach me instead of why? Exactly, because that helps us move forward, whereas why keeps us stuck in the situation and in that blame game thing. Christina says, Cassandra, I love that. I have used that statement often and is often empowering. Exactly, and it is a very simple statement. It is very, very powerful, because yeah, I don't think I need to explain that why. Okay. I say solution finding instead of problem solving. Oh, I like that. Yeah. That is beautiful. You just took the problem out of that equation completely and you are just solution focused or solution finding. Uh-huh. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. Amelia says the first month of being home with my baby, I was absolutely exhausted and sleep deprived. I asked my family to help me so I could get adequate sleep. My mother confronted me and said I wasn't being a good mother because what good mother can sleep without their new baby? I calmly responded, I cannot be a good mother if my thinking and mood is negative because I am exhausted. The baby is next door with my sister and she can get me if need be. I did not waver simply for my mother's approval of what a good mother is. 3 nights rest, and I was feeling like myself again. Honor your needs for yourself and all involved. Oh, I so appreciate you sharing that, Emilia, because there are so many myths associated with, caring for ourselves or showing ourselves compassion. We think that it is selfish. We think that, yeah, more or less what came up is that it is selfish. It is selfish, and we need to remember that when we rest, when we give ourselves the care, when we meet our needs, we are in a better position. We have more resources. We have those mental faculties, active to help others, to impact others, to, bring that positive energy with us while we are, doing whatever it is that we are doing, because the energy, the intention is also important rather than keeping on providing and providing and giving and giving and giving while your cup is empty with a sense of irritation within us, which is not going to benefit us. And that energy, the other person feels that energy because the thing is that our nervous systems interacts with each other. They can feel whatever is happening inside of us even if we are not aware. So, that is why, so it would hinder the other person, for example, the crying baby to be regulated if you are not regulated yourself. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, and it perfectly blends with the two affirmations that we said today about, caring for myself allows me, to okay, what was the affirmation? I wrote them down. Give me a second. Yeah, so let me repeat them. Caring for myself allows me to show up with more love and energy for others. And I also loved one more thing, that you did not allow anyone else to define, even your own mother, to define what a good mother is, because it is different for every person. Like what I mean to say is that you need to define what kind of a mother you want to be, what kind of a daughter you want to be, what kind of a sister you want to be, what kind of a brother, father you want to be. And no one else get to decide that for you, and no one else get to choose that for you. So it's amazing how you showed courage, how you communicated that point calmly instead of bursting out. It is wow. I am just so amazed by it, by your share. Thank you. Frank says, thank you so much for the warm welcome and for the reminder to be genuine. I will carry this message throughout my day. I hope to join you on another live call soon. Yeah, I am hoping to have you here again, Frank. Okay, let me share the next live here for anyone who wants to leave this because, we have been here for 1 hour, 45 minutes. So, yeah, if you want to leave, if you are not joining for the very first time, so if you know about all the announcement that I'm just going to make, or if you have something to do and if you want to say goodbye, you can do so and you can leave this, space and you can join again day after tomorrow. Um, V says, nicely done, Emilia. Same for my daughter, but I took the 3 a.m. crying shift so she could sleep. New baby exhaustion is real and normal. Yeah, and I hope that, everyone, thank you. Really, I so appreciate that share, Emilia, because that is going to be a very wonderful reminder for everyone to show yourself compassion because, yeah, being a mother is damn hard from what I have seen, oh my God. A hug back to you, Amelia. Sarah says, it happened to me last night. Confrontation in class with someone who had an issue with their guilt from not showing up at our group presentation meeting. She was rude and I am sensitive, I think. Yeah, I was aware of feeling insulted and went for a walk to get my energy out. I called a friend and felt better. I love that. Thank you guys. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing that, that how you dealt with that situation by providing yourself that compassion that you needed in that moment and providing yourself that release that you needed, to let out all that energy from within your body, and all that emotions that were coming up for you, of yeah, of feeling insulted that you mentioned. Love that. Thank you for sharing, Sarah. Um We says amen. Nancy says, great, great response, Emilia. Your needs matter. Sleep matters. Exactly, Oh, sleep so matters because it can be the very thing, those basic things that we forget. Sleep, eating right, like having nutrition, staying hydrated, sleeping well, and giving our body some movement. These are the very simple things, but these can make a huge difference between defining whether this would be a good day for us or whether this would be like a very bad day for us. So yeah, thank you for, give like highlighting that, Nancy. Okay. So now I guess this is time to wrap up this live. Yeah, it is going to be about 2 hours very soon. But before you guys leave, I want to share some things with you, especially if you're joining for the very first time. And if anyone wants to leave, yeah, feel free to say goodbye because there are a lot of regular people here as well. And I think there are some new ones as well. So I want to share some things with the new ones. V says, you're already a good mom, Emilia. Exactly, you are, you, because the very intention behind sleeping was to also be able to care for that child, and by allowing yourself to do so, you became a better mother. You became that calming, relaxed, regulated person for your baby. Christina says, thank you all for your great input. Send thank you, Anisha, for your great input. Send thank you, Anisha, for being a ray of light. See you all in the next one. Yeah. Thank you, Christina, for being here. I will see you in the next live as well. And thank you for a beautiful comment. Okay, so for the ones who are joining for the very first time, I want to share some things. The first thing is if you guys joined late or if you guys missed the live, and if you was like to, um, get a summary of this live, then I invite you guys to check out this group of mine, which is on Insight Timer. It is an open public group. It is like my small community on Insight Timer. So, what I do here is that, okay, first let me show where you can find it. So, when you go to my profile on the home page, when you scroll all the way down, okay, at the bottom, you will see a teachers group here, which is Wonderful Beings. The name of it is that because you are wonderful beings. So what I do is that after each live, within 5 or 10 minutes, share a summary of that live, including the type of meditation that we did, the name of the books that we read, and the exact reading, so you guys do not miss out on anything. And I also make share other things there, like a new track is getting released, or if I had to cancel a live, so I share the reasons there. Because it sometimes happens, things are not in my control always. So yeah, that is my way to stay connected and to update you of whatever is going on in my world and what are all the resources that I'm publishing and everything. So yeah, if you feel called to, I would love to have you, in that little community and to connect with you. And if not, you can simply follow me and you will still get notified about the latest tracks and everything or the next live. Because going back to the meditation that we did at the start, I mentioned that I will share with you where you can find that meditation. So this live and every single live in this whole series have been recorded, and so is the meditation. So if you would like to check out all the meditations that have been published from this live, so we have recorded like over 100 meditations so far, and I have already published around 40 meditations or something from. So if you would like to get access to that, I have a playlist known as Wheel of Wisdom. Okay, so all the tracks from here goes to that playlist. And usually that playlist used to be on the home section at the bottom only, just above my group. But I think Insight Timer has changed the interface or something. So again, I have mentioned the links to those playlists because I have 4 playlists in which I have organized all of my content. And you can find the links to that playlist by going to my group. And in the chat section, you will see the links here. So the 4 playlists that I'm referring to are, give me a second to show you. Yeah. So these are the 4 playlists. The one that I was referring to was this Wheel of Wisdom, Pick a Meditation. So I have organized it like a game that we played here. So when you open the playlist, you will see the instructions, which are simply to close your eyes, to scroll through these and point a finger, and wherever, this stops, this is the meditation for you today. So this is what your soul wants you to be guided through. So you can, play this game, save this playlist, and um, yeah, allow yourselves to be guided by the universe, by the divine, by whatever you believe in. And yeah, and I keep on adding new tracks because, as I said, I have over 100 meditations recorded. So I keep on adding them each week on every Wednesday. So yeah, you will find new ones added here. And yeah, and about today's meditation, I will share where you can find it. But yeah, coming to the other playlist. So I have 3 other playlists for you guys. The first playlist is self-soothing techniques for difficult emotions. So we talked about that emotions are not negative, And, these emotions are helpful for us to identify our needs. But when we are feeling negative emotions or the unpleasant emotions, what I like to call them. So when you're feeling in that manner, or when you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, or like you cannot tolerate feeling this way, then the techniques in this particular playlist are going to help you, you know, get regulated, regulate your nervous system to help you get centered and grounded and whatever else that you need so that you can then move on to processing your feelings, to meet your feelings, to really meet those parts of you that have a need, because you cannot focus on the inside when there is like havoc going on inside. So yeah, you can try these techniques and choose one technique that resonates most with you, and try that whenever you're feeling dysregulated, or whenever you're feeling like um like you cannot tolerate feeling this way. Okay. Then the second playlist is named for negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. So this playlist basically have like, different limiting beliefs or different negative thoughts that people have. Like there is something wrong with me, I'm not good enough, I'm too broken to heal. Or what if something, what if I make the wrong decision? So I will keep on adding more to these, but currently it has these, negative thoughts. So if you resonate with anyone, you can check them out. And basically, what I'm doing is I'm adding short tracks in this playlist, like 3 to 4 minutes. And these are designed to help you feel less alone in your suffering, and to have a mindset shift by the end of this track. So you leave this track with a like, ray of hope in your heart, that warmth in your heart. So yeah, that is my intention behind creating these. So if you resonate, you can check them out. And the final playlist that I have for you is a 21-day mindfulness meditation challenge. So if you would like to cultivate that skill, develop that meditation habit, you can check out this, playlist. It has all the free tracks as well. So it is accessible for everyone, So this is the first place where you can find, all of my resources. Now there are two other places where you can find all of my, resources that I've created for you guys, so that and why I'm sharing them, because, I hope that after this live you have some place to go to, um, provide yourself whatever it is that you need. So I want to share everything that I offer, and you know, I just hope that something resonates with you. So the second place where you can find all of my resources is just like the home section. There is a courses section here, and I have around 7 courses. So you can scroll them and check them out. I already shared, I think, 2 courses with you around accepting life difficult situation, processing your emotions and moving forward. So that was one course. And I also shared a course with you that was around like how to feel alive in your daily life. So I have shared those courses with you. And other than that, I have 5 more courses for you, which you can save if you relate to them in any manner. So the first course is this one. This is my most popular course so far with over 3,500 people, and soon I think it is going to touch like 4,000 people by the end of this year. So this has been a really helpful course for many people, especially those who have negative thoughts. So I have mentioned like in this course the specific unhelpful thinking patterns according to two therapeutic approaches, and how and specific techniques to overcome them, because there are certain ways of thinking that are not helpful, that makes our life miserable. So if you are dealing with that, if you are dealing with negative thoughts, then you can check out this course and see if you relate to any of those thinking patterns, if you have any of those, and how to get over them. So that is the first course. If you relate, you can save this course. The second one is master your mindset by identifying your limiting beliefs. So basically, this course helps you all the things that are hidden in your subconscious mind related to your perspective of yourself, like how you view yourself, what you think of others, and what you think of life, what do you believe about life or world in general. Like is world a safe place, or is world a um aggressive place, So once you like uncovered these, you will realize why I was feeling this resistance to move towards whatever it is that I want. And also, from where do I get that? From where did those beliefs got installed in me? What is the specific place? So that you can finally let go of them if you realize they are not your own. The third course that I have for you is this one, um, which says transform your negative thoughts and master healthy thinking. So it is based upon cognitive behavioral therapy. And in this, I have included like the, powerful questions that you can ask yourself to overcome any negative thoughts, to, shift that mindset into a more empowering and healthy perspective so that you can move ahead in your situation, and you can apply the same techniques to your beliefs as well, but as I say, they are, you know more deeply rooted, so you sometimes need help of someone else in order to, um to release those negative beliefs, sorry, yeah, to release those limiting beliefs. But yeah, you can anyways try it because the techniques are same. Then let's see, there are, I think, two more resources that I have, two more courses that I have. The next is this one, which is how to stop chasing and start living. So if you keep on living in terms of like, I will be happy when this happens, I will be fulfilled when this happens, I will be peaceful when I have this, when I do this. If you have that kind of mindset, then I would recommend you this course to help you shift your mindset and bring a balance of doing and being in your life, so that you're not always living in the future and you arrive in this moment. Um, and the final course that I offer is this. It is helpful for anyone if you want to move ahead after going through that playlist that I shared and deepen your mindfulness practice and live more mindfully with more intention, with more awareness. Then this might be the course for you to, you know, to incorporate that mindfulness into your life. So, yeah, these are all the courses that I offer. And this was the second place where you can find all of my resources. Now, if, if any of the resources that I have shared with you until now is not what you were looking for or do not meet your current need, then the third place where you can find all of my resources is the About section of my profile. Okay, when you go to my profile and go to the About section here and scroll down here, you will find all the additional free resources. And um, if you would like to, work more personally with me, then you can also find a way to do that here. And at last, if you would like to, know more about me, my story, what I overcame, and all of things about me, then you can check out, the About Me section here as well. So, yeah, these are all the three places where you can find all the resources that I have created for you guys. And I hope that something resonated from this. You got something that you needed at this moment in your life. So, yeah, I guess that's it for this live. And I hope to see you in the next live. I hope that you enjoyed this place and I will get to see you in the next live. Saul says, thank you, Anisha. You're welcome, Saul. I am glad that either the space or the resources, resonated with you. Um, okay. So that's it for this live. Thank you so much for joining me, for spending your valuable time with me. And I loved the interaction today. It was wonderful to hear such wisdom and so many beautiful, ways in which you have dealt with different things in your own life. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that here. I bow down to the divine within you all. Namaste. Amelia says, thank you as always. Much love. Thank you, Amelia, for staying till the end. I know you know of all of those things. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Sarah says, thanks, Anisha. You're very wise. young women as well as being beautiful and charming. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for all those beautiful comments, compliments. Rich says, thank you, Manisha. Thank you, Rich. It was lovely having you here. V says, bye for now. Yeah, bye for now. I will see you day after tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Lily says, I'm so grateful for you. Oh, so am I for your amazing, beautiful presence here, Lily. Okay, bye. Enjoy your day.